What are those things?
Interesting.
Perhaps I should be afraid, facing the most powerful members of the Inquisition. Are you afraid, Cole? I can help you forget, just like you help other people. We're so very much alike, you and I.
No.
Your Inquisitor is a fraud, Cassandra. Yet more evidence there is no Maker, that all your faith has been for naught.
Die in the void, demon.
Döth ma Herelan, Mabanal inasalin, Marsolas ina Mardin.
Bonal Nadas.
Did you think you mattered, Hawk? Did you think anything you ever did mattered? You couldn't even save your city. How could you expect to strike down a god? Merrill is going to die, just like your family, and everyone you ever cared about.
Of course, a fear demon would know where to hurt us most. We must ignore it.
Those were little fears. Tiny manifestations spawned from the nightmare itself.
And they take the form of spiders. Something so many fear.
Spiders? I see maggots crawling in filth.
Remember, we walk in the Fade. Demons of fear shape their appearance to unnerve each of us.
Well, that's reassuring.
closer now. It knows you seek escape. With each moment, it grows stronger. We only have a short time. Ask what you must.
What can you tell me about this mark on my hand?
You already know how the mark came to be upon your hand. As for what it is the needle that pulls the thread, as well as the key.
I don't understand.
It is the needle that passes through the veil, as little else can. You are the thread, and it is the key that locks or unlocks a door to the Fade. It lets you walk in the Fade physically, and survive. Without it, Corypheus must find another way to the Black City. It is part of you now, and cannot be removed without your death.
So all of this is just a dream? Part of the Fade?
It is not just a dream. The minds of mankind are made real here. Their hopes, their loves, and their fears. What changes their world also changes this one. And yours are footsteps that move mountains in both. Tread carefully, Inquisitor. This ground is more treacherous than you know.
So can you tell me what you are?
I told you. I am helping you.
Yes, but are you her, or some kind of Fade remnant of her, or a spirit imitating her?
Our world is never that simple. What if the answer is none of those things? Or all of them? I am what the Maker made me. The question is, are you what the Maker made you, Inquisitor?
I was meant to become the Inquisitor.
But what is the Inquisitor? And how will it change the world? You believe in your purpose, and that is good. That is your power.
You still haven't answered my question. What are you?
I am what you see. All other answers rest in you.
You must know what really happened at the Temple of Sacred Ashes.
As must you. The answer lies in your memories, lost to the nightmare when you last walked the Fade.
Or you could just tell me.
Would you trust my words? Trust what you have seen.
I'd like to know more about the nightmare.
It is not simply fear. It is the terror you cannot remember, the horror your mind erases to protect you. When old memories no longer make the veteran soldier's hand tremble, it is because the nightmare has taken them. Most people avoid their fears. It is simple for the demon to steal the darkest fragments. They forget, and it feeds. Corypheus has helped it grow monstrous.
It makes people forget the worst parts of their fears. It almost sounds like the nightmare is helping people.
Perhaps it was once. But now, it helps none but Corypheus. By his hand, it creates more fear and grows even stronger. In any case, robbing people of their fears is never a kindness. At best, it is a mistake born of compassion. Without fear, and pain, and failure, we cannot learn. We cannot grow. As you cannot grow until you recover all that was taken from you.
Tell me why you're here. Why take part in this?
After heaven, I hid here. I watched quietly, learned what I could, and searched for some way to help. And then you came.
I don't know what that means.
Corypheus and a nightmare do an injustice to the world. You must stop them. Perhaps you were meant to stop them. Perhaps that is why I am here.
We should keep moving.
Go!
Keep running!
The demons!
That's how I escaped.
The demons!
Keep running!
Ah! Go!
It was you. They thought it was Andraste sending me from the Fade, but it was the Divine behind me. And then she died.
Yes.
So this can't be the Divine.
I think we all knew that was the case, Warden.
I am sorry if I disappoint you.
Are you her? Did you linger here to help me instead of passing on?
If that is the story you wish to tell, it is not a bad one.
What we do know is that the mortal Divine perished at the temple, thanks to the Grey Wardens.
What, again? It wasn't their fault. We can debate the depressing details when we get back to Adamant.
Yes, Adamant, where the Inquisition faces an army of demons raised by the Wardens.
So what do you say? Terrible actions are only justified when they're your terrible actions? You tore Kirkwall apart and started the Mage Rebellion.
To protect innocent mages, not madmen drunk on blood magic. Even without the influence of Corypheus, the Wardens go too far. They need to be checked.
Agreed. The Wardens may once have served a greater good, but they are far too dangerous now.
The blood sings softly, it never stops, and then it's all they hear. We can't let them hurt more people.
The Wardens are a risk. Send them away before they cause even more trouble.
Sweetmaker, could both of you please shut up? We can argue once we've escaped from the giant fear demon.
Inquisitor.
The nightmare has found us.
All together!
I'm with you.
Real or not, the Divine is the key to escaping from the Fade.
Did the king's bastard think he could prove himself? It's far too late for that. Your whole life you left everything to more capable hands. The Archdemon, the throne of Ferelden. Who will you hide behind now?
Is that all it's got? I've heard worse than that from Morrigan.
Do you think you can fight me? I am your every fear come to life. I am the veiled hand of Corypheus himself. The demon army you fear, I command it. They are bound all through me.
Ah, so if we banish you, we banish the demons. Thank you. Every fear come to life.
still remember when they were higher, before it woke up and everything fell.
Hard to trust my footing in this place. Look!
must get through the rift, Inquisitor. Get through, and then slam it closed with all your strength. That will banish the army of demons, and exile this cursed creature to the farthest reaches of the Fade.
Rift! We're almost there!
We're not there yet. Stay alert.
If you would, please tell Liliana. I am sorry. I failed you too.
I grow fat on your fear.
They feed on fear!
You are nothing. You cannot stand against me. You will die in agony.
die!
Go! I'll cover you.
No, you were right. The Wardens caused this mess. A Warden must...
A Warden must help them rebuild. That's your job. Corypheus is mine.
Hawk.
Say goodbye to Varric for me. Right then.
No demon army for Corypheus, it appears. The Divine, or her spirit, was right. You know that's not how they see it, though. And they just saw their Inquisitor work another miracle.
They came out of this alive. As far as I'm concerned, they can tell whatever stories they like.
I suppose the Inquisitor and his Warden friend escaped by the skin of their teeth. Wouldn't be as good for morale.
Inquisitor, the Archdemon flew off as soon as you disappeared. The Venatori Magister is unconscious but alive. Cullen thought you might wish to deal with him yourself. As for the Wardens, those who weren't corrupted helped us fight the demons. We stand ready to help make up for Clorel's tragic mistake.
Where is the champion? Hawk is not with us.
Hawk sacrificed her life to save us and strike a decisive blow against Corypheus.
The champion is gone.
She gave her life not because she'd sworn an oath or been marked as special, but because someone had to do it.
Alistair, you're the senior surviving Grey Warden. What do we do now?
You stay and do whatever you can to help. Alistair believes that the Wardens are worth saving, and I trust him. You're still vulnerable to Corypheus, and possibly his Venatori, but there are plenty of demons that need killing.
After all that, you give them yet another chance?
But they hurt people.
While they do that, I'll report to the Wardens at Weishaupt. Corypheus won't catch us with our trousers down again.
Thank you, your worship. We will not fail you.
You've already created something big with this Inquisition. I wish you luck leading it.
Alistair sent me one final report. He is on his way to Weishaupt. As for the Grey Wardens, they are fighting demons and Red Templars while staying clear of Venatori. You dealt Corypheus a significant blow, Inquisitor.
We owe much of that to Hawk, and to the Divine.
Yes. You took an army from Corypheus, but that will matter little if Orlais falls into chaos. All arrangements have been made for the ball in Halam Shiral. Let us know when you are ready to proceed.
Remind me what we know about the plot against Selene.
The Venatori are planning some kind of attack on the Imperial Court. Corypheus may even be fueling the conflict between the Empress and her cousin, Grand Duke Gaspard. If we warn Selene, she may prove a most valuable ally against Corypheus.
I'll go as soon as I am able.
Good. Cullen, Josephine and I will discuss the best way to gain an audience with the Empress. Speak with us when you are ready. What was she like? Divine Justinia, or her soul, or the spirit that took her form. I read your report. I know it isn't clear, but...
She seemed calm, serene even. And she guided us the whole way through.
That does sound like her.
She did ask me to tell you something, though. She said, "I'm sorry. I failed you too."
Oh. I should finish this before it slips my mind. Perhaps later we might discuss the matter further. Thank you.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
As you were.
Yes, Inquisitor.
I thought I'd never see Cassandra blush. Yet the last time I saw her part ways with you... Good on you, Miss Sayre. Perhaps you can relax some of the stiffness out of that armor of hers.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine?
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true Divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all. Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
What is the Magisterium exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All majors now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
Well, we don't have slaves in the south.
In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and
2 minutes
elven.
left.
The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
Here, I'm gonna stop recording because I might cut something off if I don't. Be right back. Thanks for watching.